Tiny, I usually intro this thing with a whole lot of energy. How about you do it? Because, I'm feeling a little different today.
Okay. All right, well. Good morning, friends, family, countrymen. It is time for another episode of the Perfect PODCAAAAAST. Featuring me, your favorite internet cousin, indescribable, Big Tiny, and my perfect co-host,
Eugene Bush of E-Tre Productions. And this is so nice because I feel like on the good end, we're coming off the heels of an amazing album release that somebody just dropped.
I did. I just dropped an album. I did. I released an EP. Consequently, it's called Indescribable.
And after hearing the music, it actually is quite indescribable.
Thank you so much.
The vocals, the melody, the beats on that thing.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Sway, the remix guy.
Look, you did that.
Thank you.
Okay, how do you feel that it's now out there?
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. It's not a full-length project, but I wanted to give a snippet of my capabilities because I just wanted people to know, what I'm capable of and that I do take music seriously. People got to know me through my parodies, and so a lot of times they think that everything's a joke. And I'm like, no, I'm really writing on this project. So.
Yeah, you're really a singer.
I'm really a singer. Yeah.
The part that surprised me most, I was at the album release, of course, and we did the little recap and all that. But I think the part that surprised me most is how well you lip synced. Your words and mouth was perfectly in sync with it. It sounded like you were almost singing live, but clearly you couldn't have been. Like that was auto-tuned, maybe? Is that what you used, or did you put some compression on it? No,
it was my voice. I sing live all the time.
It's your voice.
Yeah. Whose voice did you think it was, Eugene?
I mean, I knew it was your voice, but it's definitely like studio version of your voice. Live.
No, that was me.
That was actually you live?
That was me live. Me and the studio version, they sound pretty similar. Minus a couple of reverbs and
Okay. Well, you sing amazing then.
Thank you.
That's the point. I was actually quite surprised. I was like, wow.
It was a fun time.
Fun
time was had by all.
Fun time. All right. Well, Tiny, today, what else? So that's a bit of good news. I saw the comments, right? And I was kind of looking at what people are saying about the podcast and kind of who we are, right? A couple things were concerning. I feel like our fans don't understand how deep and serious we really can be.
I agree, Eugene.
Yeah. I feel like they think that sometimes we're joking and this is all fake and, we're not serious. But so I just want to take a moment to really touch on some real sensitive topics.
Okay. Let's get into it.
Okay. So I don't know how you grew up, Tiny, but, my upbringing wasn't the most favorable, right? And so somebody may have called it abusive.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. But before I get into kind of my abuse, have you ever experienced that? Like any abuse growing up at all?
From my parents? No, my parents weren't abusive at all.
Yeah.
They were not, we got whoopings because, black. Yeah, so we got whoopings. Don't do your chores, get a whooping. Talk back, get a whooping. Luckily, I think for the reason I don't define it as abuse is because we only got whoopings when we 100% needed our asses told
Something
up.
happened.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't just dad's having a bad day, he's gonna knock us around. It was, y'all was playing in here after I told y'all not to, and y'all put a hole in this sheetrock that I gotta replace.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm tearing up everybody. So, and we didn't get whooped often, or some people still getting beat up at 18, 19 years old. That's crazy. But no, like, they weren't rude to us. They didn't call us names. My parents never argued in front of us. I feel like even if we felt like it was tense, they would disappear for a while, come back, and everything be fine. I don't know who won the argument. Don't care. But by the time they came back to us, everything was cool. So I would say my childhood was not dysfunctional.
Yeah.
My parents, I think, did the very best that they could. They've been married for over 40 years.
Wow.
And there was no abuse to my knowledge.
That is amazing. Because like me, and I think my whole friend circle definitely would talk about similar abuse that we had to go through. Like, you ain't never had to pick the switch off the tree.
Oh, no,
before
we
you
definitely did.
Oh, okay, that was a regular
Yeah,
whooping.
yeah. We definitely got
Okay.
Well, you know, we got whooped with switches.
Mm-hmm.
Bamboo grew at the bottom of our property line. We got whooped with bamboo.
Oh wow.
Hot Wheels racetracks.
The
Slippers.
racetrack
Yep, slippers. Any slipper that was around.
is a weapon.
Wooden spoons.
Oh, those were those were the, cause they hit a
Yeah,
certain way.
They pad a certain way, and it sound off too.
Yeah.
It's the reverberation.
I think they
Ceiling
use
fade, ceiling fan blades. Ceiling fan
taken
blades.
straight off the ceiling
Taken
fan.
straight from the ceiling fan. One time my dad whooped my brother with me, so that happened.
Wow.
Yeah, alternator, extension cords, my favorite. They left the best bruises.
But Tiny, you said there was no.
Legs of chairs, and once a microphone stand. My dad, he was in a band.
Wow. Wow. I wasn't expecting all of that. Doesn't sound abusive at all. Like
Yeah.
mine, I guess mine was a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
My mother definitely hit me with a chair. Not in the leg, like the entire chair.
It's given Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah,
given-
about that. Yeah, and it's really my fault. I talked back, but you know, I thought I was 30.
Thought you was grown.
Thought I was
You
grown.
learned to stay in a child's place that day.
Apparently, the age doesn't stop at 18.
It does not.
Yeah, so I was abused as a child, as an adult. That's what I feel like. But as a child, she used to do the weirdest things. Like my mother was very smart with her discipline, what she called it. Right, she would pinch me in places that couldn't nobody see.
All the time.
Yeah, she wouldn't leave no open
This
bruises.
meat right here.
Right, that meat.
Right.
Yes.
It's the closer to the armpit, the less visible.
How about
So-
I don't know how she would get to it, but behind my knee, like
Yeah.
right back. Oh, you have been pinched back there? Oh my God, leg gone.
It looked dangerous.
Leg
though.
gone. It's almost like she knew all the pressure points, right? She could just touch me here, I'm gone. Pass out, right? I think she was a bit of a martial arts instructor or something to that effect. Like,
Taekwondo.
either that, karate.
Okay.
Yeah, something amazing.
It sounds creative.
Yeah, my mother was really, really good at that stuff. But it's things that I thought were abusive, and as I got older, I was like, it probably wasn't as abusive. So I probably couldn't have cried as much. But like, we didn't own any Nikes growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't. Us,
Wasn't
I
a thing
thought.
for us.
You
We didn't
either.
have. We weren't wealthy. I mean, we weren't dirt poor, but you know, we were. I felt like at that time we were a typical, maybe lower middle class family.
Got
It
it.
wasn't like we just didn't do the most. You know, we didn't get brand new shoes. We
Yeah.
weren't able to take all these elaborate trips. Like, but my parents, I felt like were really good with money. They budgeted. They saved. We had family vacations every year.
Yeah.
You know, we had clothes and shoes and food. So, you know, we never went without anything.
That's amazing.
Except sleep. Sometimes, you know, my mama would come in and put oil on my forehead and pray.
Mm.
You ever woke up to somebody speaking in tongues at 3 in the morning?
Oh, 100%.
that's
Oily.
scary.
Real oily.
That's scary.
Uh-huh.
Because at this point, girl, Jesus ain't even up. Lay it down, okay? Go to bed.
Why is she up?
Because she just wanted to make sure her whole family was covered. And, you know,
I
these are
love
things
that.
that we didn't understand as a kid. But at 34, I get it. You know, I can't sleep. I'm restless. I got 1,000,001 things on my mind. Let me talk to God about it. Because he's the only one who can fix it. He's the only one who can understand. You know what I'm saying? So it made sense.
And then sprinkle a little of that oil on their children to
Sometimes you
make
just
sure.
got to lather them up. Just
Mm-hmm.
put on their forehead.
I love that. No, my mother definitely did that. Well, I definitely wake up to many a prayer. Woke up to a lot of clean up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my mother would spring cleaning.
That was year round.
That they call now. Right, it was definitely year round, but they call it spring break. You know, but wasn't no spring
Wasn't no
break
breaking.
when we was growing up. There was spring cleaning. We had to clean the baseboards, the toilets,
Yeah.
right, with toothbrushes that we used. You know, there's a lot of odd things that was happening in my house. I don't know if I was supposed to use that toothbrush, but I didn't have a second toothbrush available to me, and so I had to use that one and then recycle
Now,
it.
Eugene, that might actually be abuse.
I
That might
knew
be
it.
abuse.
I knew I qualified somewhere. Yeah, so I actually fought for disability for some years.
And you lost?
Yeah, they wouldn't give it to me. I told them I had Asperger's. I told them about the toothbrush thing. I told
Just
them.
reapply. Just reapply. Somebody somewhere gonna see this video and they're gonna know that you desperately need it.
Just a little help. That's all we need. Yep.
Did you ever get community whoopings?
Got whoopings based on what somebody else did, or we all together?
There's two different types. Community whooping could either be they was messing up and I got whooped because I was with them.
Yes.
Or my favorite. So we were latchkey kids, but when we weren't, we would either stay with the babysitter or my grandma. So if I clown at school,
but latchkey, what
latchkey means like your parents leave you at home by yourself because they still gotta work.
Oh.
And then they don't get home till about 5 o'clock, and you got to take the ground beef out the freezer.
Oh, that's so fancy.
Yeah. So when we weren't latchkey kids, we would stay with the babysitter or my grandma. And so if one of us did something at school, you know, this was back when corporal punishment was a thing. So we were still getting paddlings at school. So we might get a paddling at school. That's one whooping, right?
Yeah.
The teacher or the principal, whoever, would relay the information to the responsible person. So now when I get to my grandma's house after school, this is whooping number 2. Okay. My mama gonna find out about this.
Yeah.
So when she come and pick us up from grandma's house, guess who's getting a whooping?
You getting it again.
That's whooping number 3.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
And then she tell daddy?
And then he come in the house, and we just pray that he had a good day. Because if he had a decent day, there was no whooping number 4. But if the day was tough,
you gonna get it
Quattro.
Again for the same thing.
That's a community whooping. Yeah.
Ooh, where the whole community jumps in on.
Yeah, because it takes a village, is what they say.
Whooping. Takes a village to give a whooping.
Yes.
Okay.
Something like that. I think that's how it go.
Tiny, I feel like you may want to reconsider the abusive childhood that you may just want to reconsider.
Okay.
I feel like mine was bad, but that
it sound a little.
I don't think I've had the community rally up to whoop my ass. All my butt whoopings was just
one
individuals. Yeah, I had a crazy uncle. He used to scare us, right? He'd walk in the house and be like, "Your ass the grass and I'm the lawnmower." That was his thing, right? And so we'd all be scared that we about to get a whooping, but we never actually got a whooping from him.
No, my daddy didn't make idle threats. I remember one time we was at the supermarket, and you know when you're a kid you just do stuff. So I found, they had the candy machines at the front of the store, and I really wanted candy. My mom wouldn't give me money for it. So some kid maybe last week or 6 years before had dropped candy in front of the machine, and nobody had come to clean it up. So I wanted that candy. So I picked that up, and I'll never forget, it was a Skittle. I picked that Skittle up, and I put that Skittle in my mouth, and by the time I chewed the first bite, my mom had already turned her head. And she looked at me and she said, "I got you." And I knew then. I spit that Skittle out. So I tried my best to get that Skittle out of my mouth, but I already knew I was getting a whooping.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, when we got home, she tore me up.
So, one, the fact that you stole the Skittle, it was
the fact that I should not
took
have
it off the ground. Because you could have died.
I could have died. There has been so many times where I could have died. One time I stuck a key in an electrical outlet. And the only reason, my dad's a contractor, he does woodwork, carpentry, and stuff like that.
Yeah. The
only reason that I didn't get electrocuted that day is because of the type of key that it was. It wasn't the right material.
Wow.
Yeah. And I remember it says, zzz, I felt it. And my parents was like, "Why would you do that?" I don't know. It's a key. It fit.
It fit in
made
the
sense
hole.
to me. Which is it. That may have something to do with why I'm a little thrown off. What were we talking about?
Be that as it may. Tiny, I don't know. Did we post that last one? No, we didn't. That was the one that cut off. The one I told you that was supposed to be a little longer. We were talking about pregnancy. At the end of the clip, you didn't see it. Well, you probably did see it in the full video. But in the video that was posted, it made it 90 seconds.
Oh.
And at the end of the video, when we were talking about contraception and how potent I was, I reached my hand over to you. And you were like, "Nope, not here." And I was like, "Yeah, you don't want any children." Okay, got it.
At all.
Right.
FTK.
But that reminded me of, a point. There's a lot of women out here who, have different standards when it comes to dating and contraception, right? And people try to come at me in the comments like, wrap it up.
Yeah, they cooked your goose.
They tried to, I mean,
It was on you pretty tough.
It was on me, but it didn't really matter. because they don't really know my relationship status. Okay? So, be that as it may, here's my question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever had a one-night stand?
No. And I can confidently say that.
Hmm.
And not like it's a badge of honor or I'm judging other people. It's just not something that I do. I don't feel comfortable enough with, because in my mind, I think that if I'm going to sleep with somebody the first day I meet them,
Yeah.
we got to go to somebody's house. Like either you got to come to mine or I got to come to yours. And I don't feel comfortable with people like that. So I need to get to know you and make sure you're not a serial killer, a stalker, a scammer, a narcissist,
Yeah.
And then sometimes we get to know people for 2-3 months and we find out that they're still all those things.
Mm-hmm. Right. But so when I said one-night stand, though, I wasn't actually thinking about people. I was really hungry. Like Slutty Vegan's got a one-night stand. It's so good. 2 patties on that thing. I think it's got some bacon in it. Like it's really good. I was really thinking about that. But since you got on it, you haven't engaged in a one-night stand.
You mean to tell me that this whole conversation was supposed to be about a burger?
That's what I was thinking. I was hungry.
Eugene, why do you insist on? Why do you keep wasting my time with this podcast?
Tiny. Just wanted to get the people something good that they enjoyed.
And you thought they wanted to talk about burgers?
You haven't had the one-night stand?
Shout out to Pinky Cole at Slutty Vegan.
Okay, that thing be
No, in
banging.
all seriousness, that's a good burger.
It is a good burger, isn't
My
it?
very first time going to Slutty Vegan, that's what I ordered, and it was delicious.
She did something. She found the formula.
She did.
Yeah.
Something special. In that food.
Mm-hmm. There's really something special in one-night stands. My God, the fact that you can walk in as a complete stranger and have something so juicy and good in your mouth. The texture of it, the moistness,
I'm lost again.
how it goes down so easy. It agrees with my blood type is what I'm trying to say. Like, the thing doesn't even know my name. I don't know why that's so intriguing for me. Like, sometimes when you go there, they'll yell out, we have a slut in the building. I'm like, that's me. But they don't really call out my name. So I think I really like that you can have a one-night stand and they really not know who you are. Talk about a hit it and quit it. Oh, God, there is a place for hit it and quit it. It's at Slutty Vegan. Yeah.
This episode was sponsored by Slutty Vegan.
Thank you, sluts. Sluts unite. We can unite. Yeah. But since we're actually talking about really one-night stands, I think the last time I had a one-night stand, I don't quite remember it. It was really on the heels of, have you been so hurt where you had to like self-medicate? Imagine the hurt that comes so heavy and so hard that the only thing you can do is run to everything illegal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crime,
you had a drug-induced one-night stand.
Drug,
Okay.
alcohol. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of
Relate.
blackouts. So I don't really remember the last one night stand. I know it happened though. Woke up with pain in places I didn't even know were possible. Oh man, it was crazy. I mean, usually I work out, Tiny. You work out.
Yeah, I don't do that kind of exercise.
I know. That's what I mean. Have you ever had a one night stand so much you woke up sore?
No.
Woo!
That sounds like trauma.
Or the beginning of a six pack. I started to just include it into my daily workout regimen. Thought it'd be a great thing to do. People are dieting these days and giving up things. If you just engage in some good one night stands, there's a couple things that happen that people don't understand.
I
Number
don't think
one,
you should be encouraging people to participate in risky sex behaviors.
is it risky?
Habitual one-night stands?
I mean,
That
you
is the
take all the
definition of
precautions, right? You give out your location. It's one thing. Okay. It's definitely precaution of one night stand. Someone on earth outside of that person needs to know where you are. Yep. So that's number one. Number two, you make sure you have some kind of weapon, right, on you. Not necessarily on your person.
Listen to what you're saying. Listen to the things that you are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Does any of that sound like you are putting yourself in a safe situation? Don't speak. Think. Give it 12 more seconds.
Okay.
Just,
Okay. Hold on.
Let's just see.
Guidance of weapons.
Let's make sure. Okay.
The
What
world
you
is a
got?
very unsafe place, Tiny.
Mm-hmm. So we're
Right.
gonna make it worse.
And I feel since you got to navigate through the world, you've got to protect yourself. People really were in the comments talking about wrap it up, right? That's one form of protection.
True.
Okay, but there's so many other forms of protection,
Also true.
right? So really, I think that's, as long as we're taking the proper precautions in this place you are, because you know what else is dangerous?
What?
Roller coasters. Roller coasters are really dangerous.
You know what else happens with roller coasters?
Mm-hmm.
Routine maintenance and safety precautions.
Yes, yes. So that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
When you're engaging in one night stands, you should make sure you and your partner have routine maintenance and checkups,
Mm-hmm.
like a roller coaster.
Yes.
Yep, yep. Hold on tight. Very tight. Yep.
That's what he said.
'Cause sometimes it is. And that's when you know you got a good one. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, it's a good one night stands. All right. I feel like that's all the personal I want to get today. We've talked about a whole lot.
More than we should.
Yeah, yeah.
But all good stuff, though.
All good stuff. And at the end of the day, whatever we talk about is absolutely perfect because this is the Perfect Podcast. Okay, so you needed something that was in this episode, and I'm sure you got it because that's our prayer every time. Actually, I don't think we even prayed
That's
before
what I
this
said. Did
one.
we pray?
We didn't.
Sounds like a lie.
But that's the beginning of our prayer. Okay, after this is now our prayer. It's kind of like when you eat your food.
You have to say the grace afterwards.
You say the grace
or
afterwards.
in the middle of the potatoes.
Yeah, because you forgot to say the grace, but it covers the food. It's retroactive.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that.
This is good information.
Prayers are retroactive. So you can start the prayer now because, see, here's something most people don't know. We live in the time world. God doesn't. He's in the infinite. Where God is, there is no time. So it means I can pray a prayer now that covers something in the future because there's no time, or in the past. I pray for all the food I didn't pray for.
You ever had food poisoning?
I did.
Kind of doesn't work then.
Well, I didn't pray it yet. So if I go back there, I bet you I didn't have it.
That makes perfect sense to you, doesn't it?
You can time travel with prayer. There you go. Okay. So I'm so happy we prayed that this episode is going to give you everything you needed to ensure that you have a successful life. Okay. So make sure you tune in on the next one, guys. And we love you, and we'll see you on the next
I don't know.
episode.
This might be my last episode. I don't know.
We pray it's not.
I don't know if I can keep this up.
Our prayers work. Retroactive.